What's up, guys? Rip Trippers back at you tonight. So I've got a versus clone versus the real thing. Tonight we're going to be talking about Sentinel versus the Sentinel clone. First I'm going to be showing you guys the Sentinel V3 clone. It's made up of 5 individual parts. You got the top, which is where the 510 connection is. It's got a brass adjustable center pin. These 3 parts make up the center portion of this telescopic device. Then you got the base, which is where the firing pin is. It's also made out of brass. You got this O-ring that isolates the battery. Threads aren't bad at all. Above average for China threads. In order to unlock the firing button, you screw this piece right here to the right, just like the real Sentinel V3, and then you're good to go. In order to lock it down, you screw it to the, and then whatever device you're using, screw the device onto the top portion with the adjustable center pin first before I screw this device onto the mod. And as you can see, the adjustable pin adjusted with this device so it sits flush. I insert the battery, and the battery I'm going to be using in both these mods is an 18650. Tighten it up. And this clone, just like the real Sentinel V3, is telescopic. It has an option to use an 18350 battery. You can use an 18500 battery or an 18650, just like what's in this device right now. Now we're on to the real Sentinel. This is actually the Sentinel version 2. It's got the copper in the center portion of the mod, and it's got the copper. This device is made up of 5 individual parts. You've got the 510 connection, the top portion, and this has an adjustable pin as well. It's got an adjustable pin that's made of silver plated copper. These 3 parts make up the center portion of the mod. And again, if I didn't mention this, both of these devices are made up of aluminum. So this is aluminum, aluminum, copper, aluminum, copper, and I think this is stainless steel. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here is the base portion, which has the firing button. In order to unlock this, to the right in order to unlock it, and then to tighten it, you screw it to the left. Okay? Again, this is silver plated copper, and as you can see, it's got an O-ring as well to isolate the battery. How this goes together. Threads, smooth as butter, just like all of Grand Vapor's products are. And again, what I like to do is I like to take the device that I'm using and screw it onto the top portion of any mechanical mod with an adjustable pin before I put my battery in and screw on everything. Alright. And as you can see how it adjusted. And then today I'm going to be using an 18650 also in this mod. Again, here is the real Sentinel version 2. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to show you guys both these devices in action. I'm going to talk about them, I'm going to compare them, I'm going to let you be the judge. So let's get to it. So the device I'm going to be vaping first is the real Sentinel version 2 with the copper. I've got a Trident RDA. Thought it'd be suitable since I'm using a Grand Vapor product. I've got a single coil, single micro coil, 0.8 ohm wrap with 28 gauge using cotton wick. And I've got the airflow hole to 2 millimeter. And I'm going to be using the Trident for both devices, this one and the clone. Both of the 18650 batteries are freshly charged. Chuck in the vapor. Same device, the Trident on the Sentinel clone. This is the Sentinel clone version 3. Here we go. Chucks the vapor as well. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it. I'm going to let you guys hear in, and you're going to watch me push this button, and we're going to see the reaction time from the time I push the button and to the time you can hear the atomizer firing up, okay? Ready? I'm pushing it. I mean, I'm hitting the edge now. This is with a clone, guys. It's firing up every time. Same thing with the real thing. I'm going to let you guys hear in. Every time I push the button, we'll see how long it takes, see if it fires every time, all that good stuff. And I'm firing. Pushing the edge. Fires every time as well, as you guys can see and hear. Again, both in 18650 mode, and as you can see, the real Sentinel V2 is taller than the clone Sentinel V3. Okay, and I'm gonna explain why. Here's the 510 connection area on the real Sentinel, and this is the version 2. Again, I keep saying that. Let me make sure I'm clear. Here's the Sentinel clone. Look at the difference. Both material made out of aluminum, but the version 2 real Sentinel, the top part is twice the size and width. Another difference physically is bottom locking switch for both these devices right here. This is the clone, this is the real thing. The version 2 Sentinel is larger than the clone version 3, almost twice in width. I think this piece right here is made out of stainless steel. Another difference, this is copper, silver plated copper, the firing pin is, and then on the clone you got aluminum, brass firing pin. Everything else is the same exact size. All of the parts, the middle portion parts, are the exact same size. Both devices have vent holes in the center portion. Okay, so in the clone you have 1, 2, 3 vent holes in the center portion, same as the real thing. 1, 2, 3. The real Sentinel version 2, I've been using this device for 2 weeks now. A buddy of mine let me borrow this device, and he's been using it for the past 2 or 3 months. If you could see it, look at it. It's been through hell and high water. I mean, he's probably had it longer than that. I've used it. It's tried and true. It's never misfired. Hits like a freight train. The threads are as good on this device as they are on the M16, but the only thing is this is made out of aluminum and copper. It doesn't feel as hefty as their Grand Vapor's M16, but it's been working for me without any flaws. The clone, on the other hand, I've been using this for a week now. To be honest with you, I am very impressed with the clone. There are a few things that I'm going to point out, but you saw it, I vaped it. It hits like a freight train as well. It hits just as hard as the real thing. Really, the only issue that I had with the clone was this part right here. Every time that I went to use it, I would hold it like this, right? And every time I fired it, my finger would twist the bottom. I don't know if you can see this. And it's kind of wobbly. Now, over time, as my pinky was twisting this while I fired it, it was loosening the firing pin. And look at that. Okay? Then when I went to lock it down, it didn't lock. It's just sitting there in no man's land. I mean, it's not even connecting anymore. So I was like, what the hell, you know? I couldn't even sit down. As it loosened, it would get wobbly on me, and finally it got so wobbly it just couldn't even stand up. So I was vaping and vaping and vaping, and everything just kind of came apart, just like that. Fell on the floor. I was like, oh, this thing's broken. I was disappointed, but it didn't surprise me because it's a clone. It's made in China. Good news. With this product, it can be easily fixed, okay? This is how it works. Here's your bottom pin, right? It's brass. It screws into this piece right here, which is what makes the contact with the battery, with the bottom of the battery. How this works is, this part right here, this is where that piece goes into. That's threaded. And then there's a spring. And this spring goes on to the part that threads into this little part that goes in here. Okay? Then you got this part right here, which is the locking ring. The part with the spring screws in to this little part, which is going to make the connection with the bottom of the battery. All you got to do is just hold that part that makes the connection with the bottom of the battery tight and just screw this back in. And it's an easy fix. Okay, there you have it. So when I received this product, a lot of people were telling me that the 510 connection strips because it's made of aluminum. I've been using this, like I said, for well over a week now, and I've screwed on about 20 different devices 50 different times. I've not had an issue yet, no stripping. And also with the real thing, this is made out of aluminum as well. I know this thing, like I mentioned before, has been through hell and high water, never stripped the connection. I just don't see this happening. But then again, I've only been using this for a week and a half. I have not had any issues, and I don't think I'm going to have any issues. But if I do, you guys will be the first to know. The only flaw with this that I can see is the bottom switch. And that's easily fixable. But then again, it's China. The name of the company that made this is called Rainbow. They didn't cover their details. Unlike Grand Vapor and all these other high-end manufacturers, these guys do cover the details. With this bottom switch, it's solid. Solid. No issues. The switch doesn't ever come loose. It doesn't ever come apart. As far as heftiness, this would be just as hefty as this, except the stainless steel adjustable ring. But other than that, they're pretty much the same thing. Now, I know this is a version 2 and this is a version 3. I talked to a buddy of mine that's got a version 3, which is an identical to this. And he told me that he never has any issues with the bottom switch. It's solid as a rock. He's had it for 2 months now, and he's not had any issues. So how would I compare the real thing to the clone? The clone hits just as hard as the real thing. You're paying for a brand. The real thing is a brand. I love purchasing high-end products because I know that what I'm going to be purchasing, like if I buy something from Grand Vapor, it's going to be of high quality. It's going to last me a long time. All those high-end manufacturers, they produce great stuff. They put their blood, sweat, tears into these products that they're making, and I'm behind it. Okay? Great manufacturer. They cover their details. Everything is solid. It's tried and true. Everything you buy from Grand Vapor is going to last you. This, I've only been using this for a little over a week now. I don't know how long this will last. I don't know how long the bottom switch is going to last. But I bought this for like $12, guys. I bought this product from a company called fasttech.com. This opens up doors for people that can't afford products that are high-end, and I also like that as well. The other issue that I'm having with all these clones, and with this one especially, And I have to point this out because I used to be a manufacturer myself, and I know what goes into making a product like this. It's your hard work, all your hard work, and it's being duplicated. Now, cloning is not the problem. That's not the problem that I have. The problem that I have is when people are using your name that you created. And some of these websites out there are selling this as the Sentinel. They're not selling it as the Sentinel clone. Sentinel clone, okay. But the Sentinel, no, that's not okay. Not okay to me. That's unethical. That's wrong. They got to stop that. If you're watching this and you're selling a product, a clone product, and you're calling it the actual name, stop that. It's wrong. This is Rip Trippers. Let me know if you have any questions. Comment below. Feel free to PM me anytime. And remember, smoking is dead. Vaping is the future. And the future is now. You guys have a great day.